Hi, and welcome to your next lesson in artificial intelligence. In this lesson, we will discuss some of the definitions that are related to artificial intelligence. Since the beginning of digital computers, scientific and technological research has been carried out constantly in order to make life better for human beings. And it has been possible to automate many mechanical processes, such as calculation, data storage, and processing, each time developing computational tools able to directly aid each of these activities. And these are just basics that computers and computer programs were able to do before AI. Now, when we look at the fundamental process behind making decisions, we can see three basic steps, right? In several of the listed activities, it is necessary to examine the environment where such an activity takes place and to actually create a necessary tool. So, in problem solving in general, the fundamental process goes as follows. First, we have the analysis of the situation, A, then we have B, logical reasoning based on what we have seen, and C, the decision that we make. Human beings, unlike other species, have the ability to reason about series of perceptions of facts and propositions by establishing relationships with each other. This ability is called intelligence, and this is something that separates us from other species. But where do we take this information from? We take it through the use of the senses, through which you can learn about events that happen in the surrounding environment and are able to establish relationships between them to draw conclusions, develop knowledge, and act in a given context. Similarly, applications have been developed to emulate human behavior through computational systems. And as you can see, the human senses are used interrelated with computer systems in order to build applications that will be able to act and solve problems that we humans are solving every day. And what better way to do this by artificial intelligence. John McCarthy, 1956. Artificial intelligence in 1956 in Dartmouth, a month-long workshop was organized to gather 10 of the most prominent researchers in the area of automation theory, neural networks, and study of intelligence. Joint applications, games, and 25 reasoning programs were presented, but they did not make any real progress. Probably the most important thing was the name that John McCarthy had, because he is considered by many people the father of this area, who proposed the concept of artificial intelligence for this field of research. But let's try to understand what the artificial intelligence actually is. What can we use it for? And it is fairly new science, we can say, because it's a science established in 1956, and its goal is the capabilities we consider to be intelligent. That is, the capabilities that human beings have, such as philosophy, mathematics, psychology, or other areas. We can look at the biology also, for example. And all of these involve a large number of somewhat generic areas. And we can say that artificial intelligence as a program might have these following goals: learning, perception, problem solving, and etc. Or we can say that artificial intelligence is needed for a specific area, and in this case we will say that there is a playing chess, diagnostic diseases, driving cars, and other types of tasks that we want to solve using artificial intelligence. Now, when we speak about AI, we really speak about 4 different types of AI. There are systems that act as humans, there are systems that think like humans, systems that act rationally, and systems that think rationally. Now, what all of this really mean? Well, it's pretty simple. We just separate them into more logical or human way and more action-oriented or cognitive-oriented way. And we have these 4 categories that really any AI can be categorized in. So the first one is centered around the action of a human being. So in the first one, we really want to simulate the human behavior in a given environment. In the second case, when we want the machine think like humans, we want to look inside of the human mind to see how the cognitive processes work inside of the mind really, and to later emulate these functions in the human mind outside of the human mind in the computer program. In the third category, where we have systems that act rationally, we want to see what is the intelligent behavior that can be created with computational processes. So we are not interested in human beings, we're just interested in logical behavior, the rational one. And in the last case, systems that think rationally, really want to focus on the mental faculties that can be emulated in computer models. So again, we don't look at the human being, we just look at the logic, pure logic. Systems that act as humans. The model here is the human, the man. The goal is to build the system that passes a Turing's test. So what is a Turing's test, right? The Turing's test is the test that checks if the artificial intelligence is intelligent enough to act as a human being does. So we can split the human action into different main categories, main skills, and we will try to later on emulate those skills through artificial intelligence. So first we have natural language processing, right? This is something that every one of us has. Then knowledge representation, then reasoning, then learning. All of these are human skills that, if emulated perfectly by the artificial intelligence, will pass the Turing's test. And it is not the primary objective of the AI to pass the test, but it really is a good way to say that it is really intelligent. And the interaction of programs with people makes it necessary for them to act as humans. So we can use this situation to better develop the artificial intelligence that acts as a human being does. Systems that think like humans. The model here is the functioning of a human mind, and we try to establish a theory about the functioning of the human mind through psychological experiments and different psychological data and information. And from the theory, we try to establish computational models. And here it is really useful to look at the cognitive sciences as well. Systems that think rationally. Now, systems that think rationally are based on the laws of rational thought and are based on logic. Formal logic is at the basis of intelligent programs. Logicism. There are two obstacles, basically. It is very difficult to formulate knowledge, and there is a great leap between the theoretical capacity of logic and its practical realization. This is why this area is somewhat complicated. Now let's look at another area. Systems that act rationally. Acting rationally means having some goals, achieving them, using some beliefs or some information. And here the paradigm is not human. The paradigm here is the free agent. An agent perceives and acts always according to the environment in which it is situated. And the necessary capacities coincide with those of the Turing test, such as natural language processing, knowledge representation, reasoning, learning, perception, and etc. And its vision is more general, not centered on the human model. Two paradigms of AI. Now, the purpose of AI is to make human knowledge computational by symbolic and connectivistic procedures. And there are corresponding two paradigms of AI. First is a classic or symbolic AI, where we have an AI that is really programmable and based on the assumption of knowledge explainable by symbol manipulation procedures. And the second category is connectivistic AI. Self-programmable by learning, and where knowledge is represented as the structure of some neural network, just like in the human brain. And the big problem is the representation of knowledge in this case. The result we are looking for is a computer program on a specific machine developed from the knowledge supposedly used by human operator, expert, who performed that particular task. So we are using human knowledge and we are just making it automatic, and we are trying to speed it up using artificial intelligence. Now, when we talk about the areas of artificial intelligence, there are three basic domains: the formal, technical, and cognitive domains of artificial intelligence. Now let's look at each of them separately. Formal domains are where the use of scientific technical knowledge, possibly derived from an expert, where we try to solve problems related to medical diagnosis, robotics, and etc. Typically, we are speaking about expert systems. When we speak about more of a formal domain, where it is intended to solve problems using search models and algorithms, these problems can be, for example, games or demonstration theorems. And the last one, cognitive domains, where we try to understand the functioning of a human mind and its cognitive functions, such as reasoning, hearing, talking, and even excitement, emulating such processes with computational models.